I'm going to preface this video by saying that I rarely, if at all, get political or talk about sensitive topics like these on my channel because I am not an expert. Everything from here on out is based on my observations, my reactions to those observations, and what I think about them. So take them as you like, and if I am wrong in any way, please correct me. The comment section is right there. Good evening, everyone. I have been wanting to make this video for quite some time, especially with all that's been going on recently. And the inspiration for this video happened about a month ago while I was walking my big adventure across the state of Massachusetts. That required me to walk through some very rural towns, and of course whenever I walked by these towns I was a strange sight to the locals, like, what the fuck is this guy doing here, right? And most of the time the first thing they asked was, are you okay, are you alright? Which just goes to show how alien it was for them to see someone like me, right? I was wearing the hat, the backpack, like, I was clearly an outsider. So of course they're gonna stop to chat. And I said, yeah, I'm fine. So then they asked, what are you doing? So I said, yeah, I'm walking across the state of Massachusetts. And like, oh wow, you know? So then they want to ask more, like, where am I starting from? Where am I gonna sleep? How many days, you know? And another frequently asked question was, where are you from? So I said that I study here in Worcester, but that I was born and raised in Brownsville, Texas. And as soon as I said the name of my hometown, Brownsville, Texas, 70% of the time the conversation would go one of two ways. One, they would ask, where in Texas is Brownsville? So I said, is there a track? Impromptu Texas. So I said, Brownsville is the southernmost city in Texas, right on the Mexican border. The second way the conversation could go is Texas, huh? Well, I'm not picking up on that Texan accent, so I would reply, that's probably because my first language is Spanish because I'm from a Mexican family and I learned English very early on. Now, you see the connection there? Mexican border, Mexican family. So, when I would say that, again, roughly around 70% of the time, they would respond with what people nowadays consider to be an ignorant comment. And if I follow the script, this is the part where I get all angry and in their face, call them an ignorant bigot. Then I go back home, type in a 5-paragraph post on Facebook with the longest, most educated words to make me sound smart or whatever, and bathe in my 87 likes and the 16 comments that give me their full support. Okay, I'm sorry, that was a little cynical, but what if there is a better way to handle these types of situations? What if instead of making it a win-lose where you put the other person down, what if you make it a win-win? Because first off, guys, you gotta understand a couple of things. One, let's face it, I pass as white. So oftentimes these people could say things about Mexicans or Mexican culture and think they can get away with it, not necessarily knowing that I am Mexican in the first place. And the second thing, these people who were mostly like grandparent aged, yeah, they grew up in a United States that, when they were my age, didn't have a substantial Hispanic population. So of course they're not going to necessarily have knowledge about our culture, especially in rural Massachusetts. I didn't see any minorities until I probably got to Northampton, and even then it was the statue of Sojourner Truth. Apologist! Shut up, context matters. Nowadays, the word ignorant gets thrown around like it is the worst possible insult you could throw to someone. You see it all over the internet, you ignorant, racist, bigger, whatever. Ignorant, why? Why that word? Ignorance doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. The word itself literally means lacking knowledge of. Hell, I'm ignorant about plenty of things. I'm ignorant about quantum physics, sewing, curling. What the fuck is curling? It is only human for us to be ignorant about many things. But if we have knowledge that someone else lacks, why not share that knowledge to make that person less ignorant and make that person grow as a result? So all that being said, I'm going to share with you guys 3 encounters like that happened during my week-long adventure. The first of which happened in the town, Belchertown. I was having breakfast and they noticed, the backpack, the hat, and the server was asking me, are you going out on an adventure or something? So I said, yeah, I'm walking across the whole state. Like, oh wow, So the guy sitting next to me wanted to know more. Like, he was more curious than the waitress. So he started asking me questions, and the conversation then went to where I was from. So I said, what I told you guys, I studied in Worcester, but I'm from Brownsville, Texas. Where's Brownsville, Texas? The southernmost city in Texas, around the Mexican border, like I said. So this guy says, oh, so you have to deal with all the Mexicans, huh? In my mind, I was thinking, what do I say now? I didn't want this to ruin my day. I was in a good mood. So I responded, Brownsville's like 95% Hispanic, myself included. So yeah, we Mexicans are pretty much all over the place. The look on his face was like, oh fuck, I fucked up. But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, right? So I said, what do you mean by deal with, huh? So he said, oh no, I meant the illegal ones. So I responded, oh yeah, we see plenty of those too. We're right on the border. But do you know why they hop the fence? And I basically told him that I didn't really know all the answers to it because it's a complicated topic. The reason changes depending on the family. Generally, people cross the border for safety or to find better opportunities because, well, nowadays it's not as much as it used to be, but you have all these cartels and corrupt politicians running all over the place, and they really limit the opportunities that Mexicans have. So in order to find better opportunities to support themselves and their families, they will cross over to the United States in order to do that. And he seemed to get really, really into the conversation. He was like, oh yeah, screw those politicians, screw those cartels. Second encounter like this happened in West Brookfield, where again I was having breakfast after I slept in the church, and a group of 5 old, grandparent-aged men were having breakfast together, and they noticed the get-up, right? So they asked, where I was going. So I told them, I'm walking across the state of Massachusetts, and they're like, oh, come sit with us, come sit. So someone asked me, how was life down in Brownsville? So I said, honestly, I prefer living here in Massachusetts than down in Brownsville. And then literally the quietest dude in the corner, who didn't say a peep until that second, said, is it because it's too close to the Mexican border? So literally the other 4 guys are looking at him, with the eyes that say, dude, shut up. So I'm laughing. I'm like, oh no, it's not because of that. It's because I think that the people of Brownsville, compared to the people of Massachusetts, don't have a lot of opportunities to thrive and grow and develop. And because the opportunities down there are limited, I feel that the people there don't have as much ambition as the people here in Massachusetts, or at least that's the way I see it. Though nowadays it seems that Brownsville is slowly, gradually improving itself. But the best part of all was that he apologized. He apologized for his comment, which, I appreciate. I appreciate when a guy admits that he's wrong. And then the third encounter, my favorite. It was later that day, in fact, while I was walking through Leicester, Massachusetts, and I was through this rural one-way road, and a dog showed up. I remember filming it. It's in the video. It's somewhere in the video. Especially the dog's owner comes out of her house and yells, Daisy, come here! So the dog runs over to her owner. The lady comes over. She apologizes to me, and I say, it's no problem. So then she starts asking the questions, where I'm from, Brownsville, Texas. Then she says, well, you don't really sound like you have the Texan accent. So I told her, like I said earlier, that I am from a Mexican family and Spanish is my first language. So she says, really? My favorite. You don't look Mexican. So I told her, yeah, that's the beauty about Mexicans. Like, we're not a race, we're an ethnicity. So we come in many shapes and sizes and colors, I said. And she was like, ah. And so we finished that conversation with her saying that she appreciated that conversation, and I appreciated that conversation too. I love those conversations because that's when I get to share a part of myself, a part of my culture, part of my heritage to someone that might not know something about that. And that, I think, is the best way to handle ignorant comments, to share that knowledge, to make that other person grow, and as a result, you yourself, as a person, will also grow. That is called a win-win. Take care, kick ass.